What if I told you right behind me, this property is earning over $8,500 a month and my mortgage is only $2,200. That's a profit of over $6,000 a month. All right, we're in one of the bedrooms. I like to have 2 twin beds in here for kids. This is exactly what my setup looked like when I was a kid. Growing up all Stop! I'm gonna take you guys outside right now to one of my favorite places. We're gonna hang out outside and I'm gonna show you why people really love this house. This is part of the reason why. You look like I'm peeing. Don't do that, don't record that. Today I'm gonna be giving you a full-on walkthrough of my best performing midterm rental property that's specific for temporary housing folks, and I'm gonna be showing you why you're gonna need to make sure that you have these amenities in your property. And before we talk about anything further, I just wanna show you a little bit of why this property actually, God dang it. What makes this property stand out? First off, look at the curb appeal. Insurance companies want homes that offer stability and comfort right away. The ample parking is perfect for families who might have multiple different cars, and the yard provides a great space for kids or pets. And one of the other things about this, you're gonna notice, is there's a backyard and there's 2 fences, so people can actually have pets in the back, and they can also hang out in the front and let their pets hang out front as well. The location of this property is such a big selling point. It's located in one of the best areas of Central California, in Modesto, by the way. It's also close to schools, close to hospitals, and essential services, which makes this a great choice for people that are looking to get into a property because it not only looks good outside, but it also looks extremely good inside. We made it inside, and one of my favorite things about this property is the inside of the living room area. It feels super comfortable in here, and that's one of the things that I really love about this property. And if you're gonna host any families that you're looking for insurance relocation housing or temporary housing for families, you gotta make sure that you have a property that actually feels really good. It feels comfortable, and it feels like an actual homey, is that a word, homey environment, because I've watched this too much where people will buy furniture for a living room. It looks really cool, but it's just not comfortable. And the stuff that we got in here is super comfortable, and this living room just feels inviting. It feels like a property that somebody would actually live in. And that's a big difference between the short-term rental industry and the midterm spaces. You don't have to have all these crazy things in the home, although this house does have a lot of color in it, but you don't actually have to get crazy. As long as the place feels super comfortable like this does, somebody's gonna come in here and they're gonna feel right at home. So one of the other things about properties, if you're gonna host in the insurance side, is you wanna make sure that the house has a fully stocked kitchen. What I mean by that is I'm talking about like all the essentials that you're actually gonna need in a property. And when you're hosting Airbnb folks, you don't need to have all these crazy things, but with the midterm space, you need to actually be able to have a kitchen that folks can cook on. And this place here has like literally everything. We have multiple different pots and pans. We got little tiny galons. Is that what that says? Galons? A little microwave. We got the fancy little setup here for folks to cook. Another really big essential that you're gonna wanna make sure that you have is a coffee setup, because yes, people love coffee. It doesn't really matter what you put in there because people are super selective with their coffee. I know that I sure as heck don't want to just drink any regular IHOP coffee. I will go get something specific. So make sure that you have all the things that people can actually cook. Like just imagine your own property. Like what do you actually have in there that you cook? You're gonna want to pick up stuff specific like that. This is a big selling point for families, especially if you look at the table over there. We have a table for 6, but then you have extra spots here. So if family comes over, people stop by, you're actually gonna have something for people to hang out and they can enjoy that. And if you saw that in the living room too, there's enough space for more than 6 people in the property to hang out and do their things. So make sure again that you have a kitchen that has everything in it. All right, we're in one of the bedrooms. I like to have 2 twin beds in here for kids. So this setup right here is exactly for children if they were to stay at this property. This is exactly what my setup looked like when I was a kid. Growing up all the way till I was like 19, living in my parents' house. I shared a room with my brother who was 10 years older, and that wasn't fun. But this is how people live these days. So I love to have a bedroom that has 2 twin beds in it. So if there is kids, this is an option for them. A little hack that I'll give you guys is if you ever get somebody that doesn't want to have these, where they're just like an adult or something, they're in one of the rooms, you can actually buy a divider in the middle. And you can put these 2 beds together and it turns into a queen, which is pretty freaking awesome. So think about that. But again, I love the ability to have 2 beds for 2 high school kids, whatever it is, that they have their own space to hang out and do all these things. So make sure to have 2 twins in the room. It's just one of my cups of tea. One of the most important things, come on in here real quick, is the actual bathroom. If you look at this bathroom right here, it's completely remodeled, and I've noticed that some of the best midterm rental clients, which is why this property is booked all the time, love to have a fresh, clean bathroom. There's a couple things that I need to fix in here because we've had a guest that was in here for years. In fact, this property has been rented for over 3 years consecutively now. I have not had any huge gaps in between, which is amazing. But again, this was completely remodeled. And if you guys were to look at this before and you look at it after, it's just clean, it feels crisp. So when people come in here, they love the way this bathroom feels because again, I think it's so important to make sure you have a pretty new kitchen and definitely newer bathrooms that feel like they're actually quality. and that's important for me. Okay, so now we made it in the master bedroom. This is one of my favorite bedrooms because it has wallpaper that I love. It also has a couple bands that I really love. And one of the things about this room is it feels just super, like it feels like a room that you would live in. And it's weird for me to even say that. I think it has something to do with these old kind of setup with, you know, these drawers and stuff like that. That's another thing that I want to make sure that you guys know. If you're going to be having midterm rental guests, make sure to have closet space and specifically space for people to keep their clothes. That's super important. It's not like midterm, or excuse me, it's not like the short-term rental side where you don't need to have any cabinets or any, what are those things called where people? Dresser. That's what I was looking for, the word dresser. You don't need dressers in short-term rentals, but in midterm rentals, people are living here, so you have to do that. And this wall, this home was built in the 60s and it still has all that stuff. So follow me around, I'll show you some stuff that I really love. First off, this bed right here is a massive California king. People love that. And again, it looks really good with the wallpaper back here. And I like to have little cool pieces of art just like this, kind of in a space. One of my favorite bands is the Strokes, so I got them hanging up right here. Kind of just like a cool little seating area. And when I designed this house, I actually was really looking at this place like, well, what's a room that I would like? And this room is exactly kind of something that I like. But one of the biggest and coolest things about this room is check out this view right here. You wake up in the morning and you have this awesome pool view, which I think is super freaking cool. But this space just feels good. One of the other things to note, I thought this property was gonna have a difficult time because the master's not actually connected to the main room. It's right around the corner, literally right around the corner, but guests still love this place. Keep that in mind if you guys are looking at property. Another bedroom that we did some pretty cool stuff to is we actually turned this room into a game room. That couch actually turns into a sleeper. And if we have any guests that need a bed, we'll put a bed in here, but come on in, let me show you this real quick. This actually is a game room, and this is another reason why people love this place is because we got Mortal Kombat in here. I mean, that's freaking awesome. Finish him. We have video games for kids, and this is one of the spots that people just love to be in because again, it just feels clean, it feels comfortable, and we can put a bed in here if somebody needs it. So we have the ability to swap that out. If the family needs it, then we will definitely do that. But I think it's always important to have something kind of fun and cool in a property that makes people think like, man, I would love to be able to sit and watch my kids play arcade games in a room. And it could be their bedroom if that's something they decide to do too. And another thing, one of my favorite movies of all time, Rushmore. I had to make sure that I put this in here, so yes. All right, you can't skimp on this, and these are washer and dryer. You absolutely have to have a washer and dryer in your property, and we do, and guess what? We supply them with enough pods for the first month or so. You don't have to go crazy with everything, but just make sure that you have a washer and dryer that works, that's quick, that's efficient in your property. People need to make sure that they're doing laundry at the home, and that's a big, big selling point. Another one, this is the secondary bathroom. We didn't do anything crazy in here. This is actually still from the 50s and 60s. One of the cool things that we do is we leave little things in here for our guests to come stay, dry shampoo. I got a whole setup for these folks when they come in here, but this bathroom's still cute. It's nothing crazy. We put some wallpaper up over there. I got my AirVenture van over there, which is pretty awesome. There's a shower on this end too, and it just feels clean in here. It feels comfortable, it feels crisp. And another hack, let me show you guys this real quick. So you got body wash, you have conditioner, and you have shampoo. These suckers have been hanging up here for 3 years or so. I might actually leave a link down below so you guys can pick these up. I love that. You just take the top off here and you can fill these suckers back up. Oh! God, I'm breaking stuff. What happened? And you want to see something freaking my favorite thing about this house? You guys see this dude right here? This is me. Like it literally is me. Get up on this. Get up on this guy. That's me right there, living the dream. Living the dream. One more room that we're gonna show you guys, and then I'm gonna take you to my favorite spot. So follow me down here. Keep in mind, you guys, this was a 3-bedroom with an office. This is an office that we converted into a bedroom. Cool thing about this is we have the ability to swap it out if we wanted to, but this is a room. We got more wallpaper up here on the side, which again, it's not crazy. It is a little bit busy, but it's not distracting, which I think is important. And this room just feels clean. If there's another thing that you notice here, you guys, is that every single room has a TV in it. I really encourage you guys to put TVs in every room. I do find it to be helpful when families are coming through, walking the place. Fans in every room is important. We also have a couple extra fans that are laying around over here so people can plug in, get some air flowing through here. But this again was an office at one point, and now it's a bedroom. Pretty freaking awesome. I'm gonna take you guys outside right now to one of my favorite places, so come follow me. All right, one of the other things that I love about this house and guests love is this sucker back here, and that's a swimming pool. I've never actually owned a pool in my life. This is the first property that I ever bought that had a pool, and people love pools. If they have pools, they love to be able to swim during the summertime, and here in Modesto, it's like 110 degrees. In fact, that's what it is today. So people love that. And also when insurance families walk these properties, they might not necessarily have a pool, and this is like a cool little add-on to, again, you gotta keep in mind they're dealing with some certain hardships they have in their life, fire or flood. Like, can you imagine having to leave? It's kind of cool to be able to get a place that you and your family can hang out, enjoy something like swim every single day. And this has been a huge selling point in this property, especially when they come through and they're able to hang out in the back and just sit around. It just feels really nice. There's all these lush trees. It's really a nice backyard. Okay, we're actually outside right now. One of the other things that I love about this is not only just the pool, but folks get a garage space, which is in the back. And if you look right over here, this big giant gate here is actually alley access, so people can park their vehicles back here. They can park their vehicles out front. There's just a ton of area for folks to park their cars or trucks. In fact, I've had other people that stay at this property that are construction workers and things in the past, and they will park their trucks back here that are super expensive. But for today's purposes, we're just talking about insurance, relocation, temporary housing, and why so many people love these properties in this specific property, again, which is why it's my top performer. And it's because it just has this view back here, which is amazing. At night, this place looks awesome. The lights are lit up. You got the beautiful trees up top right there, and it just feels really nice to be here. All right, before we go inside, one of the other reasons why people love this property is the curb appeal here is extremely clean. In fact, I got rocks on one side, I have grass on the other side, and one of the cool things about this place is that if somebody's bringing pets, guess what they could do? They can actually let their pets come out front, because guess what? I got a gate around this entire property. So if you're wanting to book specifically for insurance relocation claims, it's extremely important that you have a place that not only looks good inside, but also has that appeal outside. All right, so you're probably wondering how much I purchased this property for, and I ended up picking up this home back in 2021 for actually, it was $540,000. Is that what I got it for? Okay, I ended up picking up this property for $540,000. I ended up putting 10% down, and my mortgage payment, obviously the rates were really good at that time, and I think we were like at right about 3.7% interest rate on this property. It was a conventional loan. My mortgage payment's about $2,200 a month. And as I mentioned before, this place has been booked for $8,500 a month, which is freaking astronomical. The thing that I want you guys to realize is that I've created relationships with these companies now. So anytime anybody needs housing in these markets, they're specifically coming to me. And I can't explain to you how crazy it is to realize that you can make $6,000 a door. We're talking about insurance companies today, specifically relocation, temporary housing. That's pretty standard. So the rent on this property would probably be about $2,700, maybe $3,000 max and I'm talking if this place was just, and it is dialed in, it's a really nice place. So that's almost 3x long-term rental rates. And I've talked about this before where you could typically 2x easily, sometimes 3x, sometimes 4x, and sometimes 5x long-term rental rates. If you're able to connect with these agencies and companies and that the folks that lost their home have a loss of D coverage, which is the additional living expense that is high. And again, every policy holder is different, but just to give you context, this house is making $6,000 a month, which is insane because I had a job that I was making about $120,000 a year at one point, and my paychecks weren't even this much a year, and I'm making this on one door. So if you're sitting there thinking like, I need to have a bunch of doors, no you don't. You just need to be very specific about who you're actually renting to and extremely intentional about who you're actually booking your property to. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 reasons why this property will continue to do well. It's been doing well since 2021. In fact, I mentioned before, this property has been booked out solid since the day I picked it up, which I think is amazing. And I know this place is gonna continue to do well. The first thing that I would say to you guys is that this is extremely important to remember. The place has a walk-in shower and also has a bathtub. It's extremely important that you're always paying attention that when you're buying property or you're arbitraging property, you pick up a place that has a walk-in shower and a tub for kids. I think that's really important. In fact, I've had other properties that I've lost on insurance claims because there was literally no bathtub for kids. Sometimes adults take baths. I mean, I think, right? Yeah, people like taking baths. The second thing about this place is that the curb appeal is just fantastic. The second that you're walking up to this home, you feel like it just feels like a home that you might want to be in. In fact, when I walk families through this property, that's essentially what I get from them. The second they open the gate up to walk into the place, they just have this extremely confident feeling that it feels like a place that they belong. And I can't even really put that into words. If you guys have ever been to a property like that before, you know what I'm talking about. It just feels inviting, it feels put together. And that starts at the outside of the property. So if you guys are looking to house folks through insurance relocation claims, make sure the outside looks just as good as it does on the inside because curb appeal does matter. And number 3, why I think this property is gonna continue to do well is because it's positioned in a place that is central to Modesto. It's in one of the best neighborhoods. In fact, multiple properties in this market that are across the street go for $1 million. I picked up this house for $500,000. So just being able to have close proximity to these spaces is incredibly important because again, not only is it gonna up the resale value of my home, but people that are driving here, they're driving by these beautiful homes as they're coming into this market. And I think again, that's something that's extremely, extremely important as you're starting to get in this business. You're gonna understand why it's so important to do that. So if you guys found any of this valuable at all, I hope that you're able to not only like and subscribe, but maybe hit that bell sign to make sure that you get notified every time that I'm putting a video together. The other thing, leave me a comment down below. If you are a midterm rental operator and you're specifically going after insurance relocation claims, are you getting pretty decent bookings? Are you not? I wanna know, I wanna hear from you guys. And just so you know, I read every single comment that comes through. Yes, even the people that say that I have a bunch of gray hair and I'm an old guy. I totally understand that and I get it. I am, and that's cool and I'm okay with it. So yeah, leave me a comment. I appreciate you guys so much. And real quick, before I let you go completely, I just want to let you know that I have a mentorship where I teach people how to find properties like this. Most importantly, how to run numbers and how to actually build a business out of connecting with these agencies and companies, and not just the insurance space, but all different types of midterm rental avatars that there are to go after. And there is literally over 13 of them in this space. There's actually probably even more than that. But I've been able to help people build successful businesses, and you're probably doing it right now by just watching this video. That's one of the cool things, is that I give a ton of content for free. So imagine what's actually in my paid stuff. So appreciate you guys so much. We will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed a tour of one of my best properties that I have to this day right now. You look like I'm peeing. Don't do that. Don't record that.